Here we get to use what we just talked about to demonstrate equivalent propositions. Now, the interesting part about this is that, as you know, the two propositions that share the same values are equivalent. Duh, we know that part. But a classic implication of our true, false, true, true is actually equal to a contrapositive. And then what we have is the converse and the inverse of a, again, classic implication. If it had to be changed around for inverse and converse, they are exactly the same. Now, why am I bringing this up is because later on we're going to be, again, using that power to go ahead and change some longer equations into shorter ones because we can say, hey, these are equivalent to something else. Okay. Now, the interesting part about this is that this is the classic implication set, and this is the classic converse set, which was our P implements Q. We'll go into that a little bit more when it comes to biconditionals. This part's going to actually happen to change on some particular cases. But other than that, for now, all I want you to worry about is that the inverse and converse are the same, and implication and a contrapositive happen to be the same because, again, we're going to use that for our advantage in reducing some longer and more stressful propositional logical statements. So for what I want you to do right now, we'll go over it here, is find the contrapositive, converse, and inverse of the following statement. If it is raining, then the home team wins. So do it in that order too, of contrapositive, converse, and inverse. We'll go over a solution here in a second. Should be easy. Go ahead and hit pause, and we'll go over it here in a moment. The solution for this is pretty easy, to be honest with you. We already have our setup. If it's raining, then the home team wins. Notice I already break it up into its P's and Q's. That sounds like a term. But anyway, after that, getting your solution and overall positioning is almost basically the same idea, but we got to be careful about one item. With converse, it's Q and then P. Now, that part's not too hard. We just literally list what Q was, and then we go ahead and put P behind it. We might need to make some minor adjustments to make sure it sounds correct in English. But other than that, that's about it. The other ones, though, they all have knots in them. So you see all the knots that are highlighted here, but that's, other than positioning, it's about the same idea. On this one, I have a not P, so if it is not raining, that's the only thing I really added to the original P was the not. And then, well, then the not Q does not win. So yeah, there's some wording that I might have to add in there to make it fit, but the not is the key important part because we're negating the other ones. Well, and then the same idea for not Q and then not P, which is really basically just the opposite of the previous one of the converse. So other than positioning and other making sure you put knots and you might have to adjust some words, this is not meant to be a hard exercise.